for forecasts from America's most dependable, The Weather Channel, every 10 minutes, mornings and afternoons on 89 WLS and constant updates at WLSAM.com. Keyword storm.
Look who just stepped into the studio. I'm beside myself. This is
Ron Swanson?
No. Close enough, though. Close enough. Rashida Jones and Will McCormick are with us. I had the pleasure of being with them for a short period of time this morning on the television, and now here they are with us on the radio.
On the television, like it's 1962.
I like to pretend it's like
soon one day there will be a remote control. You won't have to get up and change the channels on the television.
God, I hope not. All right, let's talk about this. Celeste and Jesse Forever. You were just talking about this film with them. Richard, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah,
they're sitting here with us right now.
It's a terrific film. You know, there are so many different attempts to kind of do a twist on what they call the rom-com, and I have seen every romantic comedy ever made in the last 20 years. I have seen Kate Hudson doing a choreographed routine to Push It for no reason whatsoever. I've seen Katherine Heigl go up in a hot air balloon, and I've rooted for the balloon. I've seen Matthew McConaughey take off his shirt in movies and then take off more shirts for no reason, just as he says, all right, all right, all right. So I welcome a romantic comedy that does something different and that starts in a different place and has, an actual reality-grounded story and a lot of fun insights. And why don't we let the stars explain what happens in Celeste and Jesse Forever?
Because you wrote this film, too, right?
We did.
Yes.
We did.
That's a big deal right there. All right, so take it away.
First of all, your Matthew McConaughey impersonation is good.
Great.
Yeah.
Really good.
And thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I mean, the romantic comedies are hard because the genre is so familiar, so we were trying to give it a sort of fresh approach. And the story is basically about a young couple who decides to get divorced but remain friends while pursuing other relationships, and they realize that their separation is harder than they imagined. But we wrote the part for Rashida, and she's fantastic in the film, and then Andy sort of came on board later, but it was a story that evolved from relationships that we've been through where we sort of had these tricky attachments to exes, and we weren't sure how to sort of navigate them.
Mm-hmm. Now, it came to my attention earlier today that you two had actually been romantically involved for a short period of time.
Very brief.
Is that accurate?
Very brief.
Now remember, you are under oath.
Okay, you guys, we got the very brief part. Wow, now we know why it didn't last.
We were better as friends. We were lucky to realize it really early on. We were in our 20s and drunk.
Yeah.
A lot.
The whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah.
But we were, you weren't over. We had just got out of relationships.
Yeah, I don't think I left enough of an impact on you to write for it to serve as a script.
Yeah, maybe not. Either way, that's probably true. But we got out with enough time to salvage the friendship.
Yeah, it was an ill-fated romance, but we did realize we were meant to be in each other's lives somehow, and it was as writing partners. We're like married, we just don't have any sex,
and
which I guess is like being married.
Is like being married. Thank you. Hey now.
Oh, and there's no divorce.
There's no divorce. We hope not.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you'll fight over a script, a paternity of a script. You never know, and I don't want to get in your heads about this because I just know how lawyers are. All right, now, so that was not really the impact. That didn't have a lot of impact. Your original relationship, on where this went. But we were talking about this a little bit today on TV, and I want to go a little further down this road. You're writing your own stuff, and you're acting in your own stuff. You're acting your own words. You know what they are. But do you feel differently when you're doing your stuff than you're doing somebody else's work?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think it's just inherently more comfortable to speak words that you wrote.
It's easier to remember the lines.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I remember right before we started filming, we were just so busy trying to get the movie made because we're producers on the movie too. And like a week before, I was like, oh, I have to memorize my lines. I was like, well, not really, because I wrote them. Kind of knew them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's fulfilling. It's so crazy to write a movie and then you get there the first day and there's actual trucks and lots of people and it's
and it's yours. And
it's thrilling. It's like you created a few jobs. It's fun.
That's a very good thing.
And to see all the scenes that you had in your head, excuse me, like the coffee shop or, the house or the IKEA scene and things like that, where you guys tried to build stuff. And Andy Samberg's really good in this, too. I mean, he's a very funny guy, but it's nice to see him get a chance to kind of strike some different notes as well and play somebody, again, it's a little more grounded than him and Adam Sandler playing father and son.
Yeah. Andy has a lot of levels,
he really does.
He hasn't had a chance to expand like this on film.
Well,
or
he's been
TV.
in a box. I mean, that's really been his problem.
Part of him's been in a box.
Yeah. So but now it's interesting because the film he did the big box office film earlier this summer, which had. I would say he
did a film with aspirations for big box office.
Yeah, so he was going to. I
could say this. I'm not trying to get a role in any of these movies or anything.
Yeah, so. And I think that one probably set a bad tone for how talented the guy really is and the depth that he can really bring to something. Which is very, very cool. All right, so now Rashida, your dad is from Chicago. Your dad, for people who don't know, Rashida Jones, who you know and you love from television. Now she's in this great movie, Celeste and Jesse Forever, which, by the way, opens in selected cities August 3rd. Do you like the way I just worked the play?
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Her dad is Quincy Jones, probably he has to be, if not the greatest music producer of the back half of the 20th century, tied for first, right?
With who?
I have no idea. Really? We're going to hear from somebody.
George Martin.
Yeah, George Martin's going to call if he's still around.
One-hit wonder.
Yeah. George Martin might argue with that. But so you and then Peggy Lipton's your mom. So you grew up in the business. Did they want you not to be a part of this deal? Because you went to Harvard. They probably wanted to send you off to.
That was all me. I was like, every kid rebels, and the way I rebelled was by being more academic, because my parents were cool, creative, 70s hippies, and I came back around to it on my own, but they would have supported me no matter what I wanted to do. I mean, they would have been happy with with anything, as long as I was happy.
Oh, that's very sweet.
It's true.
That's very sweet.
We're so unfamiliar with such parents.
What? Listen, nobody's perfect, okay?
Yeah, they wouldn't have been they're still not completely happy. I get complaint letters from them every day because they don't know how to get a hold of me. No, from mine.
Oh, okay.
No, from mine.
That would be a little odd.
To a P.O. box because I won't give them
the
my
opposite
address.
of letters from Santa, letters from Quincy.
Her dad's seen our movie like 7 times.
Really?
Cute, yeah.
He's so
nice.
proud of her.
He's really sweet.
Because after 5, he's not just doing it because it's his daughter.
No, I know. He really likes it.
He really likes it.
Quoting lines from it.
He's
wow.
so cool, too.
Yeah.
He's cooler than the other side of the pillow, as they say. He's the coolest.
What does that mean? Oh, cooler than the other side of the pillow.
He's the coolest.
The man's a writer. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
Good.
Hey, did he ever say, well, like the music, I'm not quite 100% sure about the music. He didn't do anything like that, did he?
Well, funnily enough, my nephew, Sonny, scored the film, who was my dad's grandson.
There's some talent in the music department
He's got
in your
some
family.
genes, yeah.
It's a terrific score, and I know we're almost out of time, but I have to mention too, Emma Roberts is so good in here, playing kind of Britney-esque, pop star, and there's a nice relationship. I like the way that this film allows every character to have a moment or two and lets the scenes breathe. The scenes with Will, he's not just the typical, let's get high and have a friendship. There's more layers to it there. Same thing with the Emma Roberts character. Same thing with the relationship between the two main principals and the people that they see. And I really like that you guys, the way you wrote it, in a way you feel like you're really there and you know these people. And that's a hard thing to do, I know, in a movie, and to keep the story moving along as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You did a wonderful job.
Thank you so much.
Rashida Jones, Will McCormick, Celeste and Jesse Forever opens in limited release on August 3rd around the nation soon thereafter. Thanks very much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
1 minute away from 89 WL's traffic and weather. First on the 5s.